House of the Dragon season finale is apparently following in Game of Thrones footsteps, leaking onto the internet a few days before it was meant to air. In a statement given to IGN and Variety, HBO says it's disappointed that this unlawful action has disrupted the viewing experience for loyal fans of the show and is aggressively monitoring and pulling these copies from the internet. For fans, this could mean that spoilers will be floating around social media, though a colleague who watches the show tells me that's not necessarily a new thing, given that it's hewn pretty close to its source material, George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood. Before we continue, if you enjoyed watching the video, please share your thoughts by clicking the like button and writing them in the comments section below. If you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, you will be among the first people to find out when new videos are published on the channel. So let's just get started. Collision shop Brandon Mayzade moves damaged Porsches from across the Midwest to his shop in Minnetonka, Minnesota. A Cayenne SUV that hit a dare in South Dakota needed structural work and needed to be transported hundreds of miles. The first collision shop the car was taken to had no idea what they were doing when it came to the technology, he says. Fixing complex vehicles requires increasingly expert and expensive knowledge, and limited supply of tools. For every active service bay inside U.S. auto shops there are now 246 vehicles on the road. Pandemic supply chain jams for computer chips and auto parts have worsened the problem. Cars took an average of 2.1 days longer to repair in 2021 than in 2019. An industry survey taken late last year found 96% of shops reporting delays. Auto shop owners are nearing retirement. A 2019 industry survey found that nearly half of auto shop proprietors were 60 or older. 30% of shop owners were thinking of leaving the industry by 2024. Reimbursements from insurers aren't keeping up with the cost of fixing today's complex cars. Businesses are keen to attract a new generation of workers excited about electric cars or automated driving technology. As the traditional auto repair shop disappears, so might the stereotype about the grizzled and grimy mechanic. These complexities have made it more difficult for a shop to operate if it's not running properly, says one shop owner. Todd Humphreys's team has been reverse engineering signals sent from thousands of Starlink internet satellites in low Earth orbit to ground-based receivers. In a non-peer-reviewed paper, Humphreys claims to have provided the most complete characterization of the signals to date. This is the first step toward developing a global navigation technology that would operate independently of GPS or its European, Russian, and Chinese equivalents. The technology is similar to that used in Wi-Fi and 5G, but packs more bits per second into a given bandwidth. Researchers did not try to break Starlink's encryption or access user data coming down from satellites. Instead, they sought out synchronization sequences, predictable, repeating signals beamed by the satellites. His approach could be applied to any terrestrial or extraterrestrial signal, he says. Starlink reportedly suffered a catastrophic loss of communications in late September in Ukraine. It is being widely used for voice and electronic communications, to help fly drones, and even to correct artillery fire. Russia is actively trying to kill Starlink, Elon Musk tweeted last week. Assessing that security starts with a clear understanding of the signal structure, says Humphreys. Diana Burrell, a New York-based news editor, fell victim to a phishing attack. Such thefts occur regularly, with dozens losing their profiles every day if the frequency of new listings on marketplaces for verified profiles is any evidence. When The Atlantic's Jacob Stern's account was compromised, It was used to dupe Moonbird's NFT owners into transferring their tokens into the hacker's wallet. NPR News reporter Dana Ferguson's profile was similarly rebranded in August to steal Killer Bear's NFTs. When California-based writer Marissa Wensky was hacked, her account ran a promotional campaign for Meta BattleBots, a real NFT art project with no obvious associated scam. Hackers brute force usernames and passwords from the matched credentials on Twitter's login form. At any given moment, dozens of verified profiles are compromised and looking for a buyer. "I can supply you with roughly 500 verifieds within the next month," one hacker said. Whether it's through work, stress, worry, or just one of those nights, sleepless nights are a part of life. But regularly missing out on between 5 and 9 hours a night can lead to health problems. Lack of sleep can cause weight gain and obesity, as well as increased blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. The less you sleep, the more likely you are to suffer from depression, and the lower your mood, the less likely you will get enough shut-eye. Sleeping less than 5 hours a night doubles the chances of developing dementia compared to sleeping between 5 and 9 hours. Midlife is when we experience the most stress and are most likely to sleep less. If this applies to you, you may wish to alter your routine to allow for more time in bed. Next-gen 3D V-Cache processors are on the way. AMD has already confirmed that. Launched at $450, it was the go-to processor for gaming, outperforming chips that ran almost twice as much. Now that Intel's Raptor Lake and AMD's Ryzen 7000 processors are here, it doesn't look as enticing. In Far Cry 6, where the Ryzen 7 5800x3D showed a dominating lead of 28% over the Core i5-13600K, it now only shows about a 4%. Ryzen 7 7700x3D could top gaming charts like its last-gen counterpart. We still don't know at this point. AMD's current roadmap suggests it will release next-gen processors sometime in late 2023. Right now, it's tough to recommend the processor with the Ryzen 5 7600X and Core i5-13600K floating around. Since war broke out early this year, roughly a quarter of the European Union's electricity has come from wind and solar. That's a record-setting number, and has saved the EU €11 billion in avoided gas costs. Poland saw the biggest bump with a 48.5% increase in solar and wind generation. All that extra renewable energy helped fill in for a major drought-driven drop of hydroelectricity generation. Wind and solar now account for a quarter of the EU's electricity mix, up from a quarter earlier this year. Prior to the Ukraine crisis, Russia supplied about a fifth of the bloc's electricity. The energy crisis has also pushed some countries to rethink their plans for nuclear energy. Countries are gearing up for a UN climate conference in November.